Greetings. Welcome back. All right. So, news of the day for all you wonderful, fine people out there who've been waiting patiently for a news of the day video for today. So, first up, Gunnarsson. So, if you're a Blues fan and you're like, that didn't look good with Gunnarsson last night, it looked bad. And it's one of those things where it's just a fluke injury that happens because he's a Blue. And so Gunnarsson's out for the season with a right knee injury. I'm going to go out on a limb and say St. Louis is looking for a defenseman right now. Or a forward. They're going to be looking for some depth. The good news, if that's what you want to call it for St. Louis, is there should be teams that are getting ready to maybe sell off some assets. The problem is you're going to have to spend draft picks, prospects in order to get those players. But for St. Louis, it just keeps adding up. So, Gunnarsson's out for the season. Best of luck to speedy recovery for him, and it just keeps adding on. When that happened, you could tell it wasn't good. Johansson will be returning to the lineup for the Nashville Predators against the Wings tonight. So as Nashville goes into tonight at 7-10, you have to think there's reason to be concerned if you're Ryan Johansson, because he gets paid a lot of money, and the production's not there to back up the amount of money he makes. So for a team that maybe might be looking to make some changes, maybe get rid of a bad contract, take a bad contract back, right? So we'll see what happens with Johansson. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But it'll be interesting to see what Nashville does. Because Johansson is not among those listed by Elliot Friedman as what he's heard as being untouchable. So, yeah, we'll see what happens when he comes back. There are 3 players of note on waivers today. There's 4 altogether, but one of them hasn't even played a game in the NHL in recent memory. Tanner Kiro's on waivers for Dallas. Won't get claimed. Played well for Dallas when needed. This is just so he can go to the taxi squad. Luke Schenn is on waivers for Tampa. This is so you can move him back and forth from the taxi squad as well. I don't think Luke Schenn gets picked up by anybody unless Jim Benning goes, you know what? He might help us with our depth on the blue line. Schenn's helped before in Vancouver, so I'm not going to rule out a claim by Vancouver, but I'm also going to state, so where are they finding the money? And at that point, that rules it out. Friedman's on waivers. Mark Friedman, not Elliot, and they're not related according to him. He's on waivers for Philadelphia because Claude Giroux is back. Giroux's off the COVID list. So that's one less player on the COVID list right now for Philadelphia as I'm recording this. They should all come off soon, but we'll see where Philadelphia is at when they get everybody back, right? That's good news if you're a Flyers fan. So Braden Coburn's been returned to the taxi squad by the Ottawa Senators. This has taken place because Chabot appears to be returning tonight. And at practice, he was skating on the top pairing, I believe, with Zaitsev. So it looks like Chabot should be back tonight. If you're a Montreal fan, you're probably thinking, yay, they get a little bit better. They've already beaten us 2 out of 3 games. I'm not sure how it's happened. I'm really not sure. I think Montreal's better than the way they've been playing lately, but at some point, you have to kind of shrug your shoulders and go, I guess they're not better than how they've been playing. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see if Chabot's positive for Ottawa, which he almost always is. Teuvo Teravainen, if you're a Canes fan, and if that loss last night was smarting for you, Teravainen being out for a while is significantly more alarming. He will not be making the trip on the road, according to Rod Brindamore, as he has a concussion. Now, if the team reveals that it's a concussion, that to me is more troubling than when they don't. When they're like, it's an upper body injury, and we're all going, it's a concussion. When they come out and say it's one, that tells me it might be a longer period of time that he's out. So we'll see how Carolina responds to this. Again, shortened season, more games over that shortened period of time, less time for recovery from injury. When a guy does get injured, he's going to miss more games because games are over that contracted period. This is just how this season's going. So, yeah. All the best to Teravainen. Capitals news here. Henrik Lundqvist is back on the ice taking some shots. I don't think he's going to play, but he's out on the ice taking shots 2 months after surgery. So, of course, the comments I read on the internet are very supportive, and it's nice to see him on the ice, and isn't that great? And oh, that looks, 2 months after surgery, that's amazing. I'm just kidding. All the comments were along the lines of, give it up, old man. You're done. Why don't you just retire already? Yeah, that's nice. That's good for a guy who just had heart surgery to tell him, give it up, old man. He's a decade younger than I am. But hey, not like I haven't already been told, give it up, old man, more than once. But hey, yeah, Lundqvist back on the ice, and I'm glad to see him back on the ice. I think it's great. I honestly think Washington, the funny part is, one comment I saw said, Caps are fine without him. Caps are fine? Okie dokie. All right, that's, all right. You do you. Yeah, so Lundqvist back on the ice, and we'll see whether or not he has any intention or any ability to be medically cleared to play at any point in time soon. But he was wearing a Caps practice jersey. I think regardless of whether he can play at any point in the year of 2021, I just think it's great to see him back on the ice taking shots. So there you go. I want to talk about Buffalo. That's the Buffalo jersey. It is a beautiful jersey, and they went back to these jerseys. Well, they're a new version of the old jersey. But I think we'd all kind of hoped, at least I did, that they'd start coming out of this rebuild they've been in. Well, it's gotten worse. And they've only won one game since the return from that pause that wasn't scheduled. And the troubling thing isn't just their win-loss record. Right, Channel? It's not the only troubling thing. It's that they're looking at Eichel only having 2 assists. The coach having to come out and say, oh no, Eichel's not hurt. If you have the press asking you, so is our star player hurt out there? You have to go, no. Eichel last year got tired of losing, right? They had Taylor Hall. They changed things up. They changed the GM. They changed things in part to make sure Jack Eichel is happy, right? What do you want? I don't need to pick you up. Oh my god. All right. Anyways, so it was my fault. I accidentally petted him, and now it's time for me to pick him up, according to him. So he's not hurt. Skinner was a healthy scratch last night, so that's $9 million sitting up in the press box. That's probably not something that you want to see. Now, the current GM didn't sign that contract. Current GM didn't set this up. But he's got to fix it. And it's not easy to fix the mess that's left in Buffalo. We'll see how things go for Buffalo from here. But it doesn't look good. The record's poor. They're in a division that we knew they were going to have a hard time winning to start with. And apparently they've made Montour available. Montour's a free agent this summer. Are you upset that Montour's available? Seems upset that Montour's available. But Montour's apparently available. And for Buffalo in general, it's another mess. And it feels like it's a different story this year than last year. Last year they got off to a fast start and then they tailed off. Same thing the year before. And this year it's been a rough go from the very beginning. So, does Eichel ask for a trade soon? Like, when you see him playing as poorly as he is right now, and I mean, I'm used to standing here and telling you people, if you're not watching Buffalo, Eichel's fantastic. Yes, Buffalo lost tonight, but Eichel's been fantastic. In my recent reviews, I haven't been really talking about that because he hasn't been. Eichel's been quiet. He's only got the 2 goals so far this year. And so for Buffalo, there's a lot of alarming things. Because if Eichel comes out and says, you know what, I want out. This is it. I'm done. It's been 5 years. I can't do this anymore. I'm out of here. I don't know what you do if you're Buffalo. Because do you restart a seemingly endless rebuild? This is where rebuilds get tricky. This is why when people say, well, I think this team should just tear it apart and rebuild. It's not always that easy. Getting to the bottom of the league, that's relatively simple. But climbing your way back up can be really, really tough. And you have to have the right people in the right places. And you have to get some lucky breaks when it comes to the draft table. You have to make the right free agent signings when the time is right. And you have to do everything right. And for Buffalo, it just feels like everything they do ends up coming back to haunt them. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think about the Buffalo Sabres. Clearly, it's upset my cat here that I'm talking about Buffalo. He's never had me pick him up during a video. Not for a very long time. So, that's unusual. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thanks for watching my cat channel, which I just happened to talk about hockey on. And hey, I will talk to you guys again soon.